of course, Late Night with the Devil just came out, and then and of course, that brings up a lot of questions about hypnotism and things that things that go on like that. And the perception in the movies and TV has always been a little bit off, and it is Hollywood. They do get some things wrong sometimes. But what did
Yeah.
you like? What did you not like? And
So,
how close was it?
sure. Well, my favorite thing isn't when they portray hypnosis as this kind of negative, spooky, mystical thing. I know Hollywood does that. They did that with another film, I think it was Get Out, when they
Yeah.
tried to show it as mind control. So that's not my favorite when they try to make it look so dark and kind of creepy like that. What I do like, anytime a window is open for conversation,
Mhm.
that kind of makes me happy. And I think we all kind of know Hollywood dramatizes things, and that movie kind of blurred the line between, you know, what what is an alternate reality that you could be perceiving through hypnosis, and what is the real reality of what they're experiencing. So there are a couple things that can be done with hypnosis that were in the movie, and there's other things that, of course, cannot be done with hypnosis in the movie. You know, so if we want to talk about the things that you could do with people or things that I've done, so we call it hypnotic phenomenon, is what I call it when I do entertainment hypnosis, and we take things that are so easy to do that are now impossible. So, for example, something like the next time you open your eyes, you'll realize you are stuck to the chair. There's nothing you can do to get out of that chair. And for people that are highly receptive, they will be stuck to the chair. Or if I say you're feeling cold, and you'll see them literally start rubbing themselves, blow on your hands are freezing, and they'll blow. And in that state, they really do feel cold. Or if I say you're sitting on a hot chair, it's burning, obviously their skin isn't going to burn, but they believe it is and they jump up. Now we can take that a step further, where if I'm doing a stage show or entertainment hypnosis and I see that I have highly responsive people, I can do things like, when you open your eyes, you will see your favorite high school teacher, and they'll believe that if I'm standing in front of them, that I am that person. Or when you open your eyes, you'll see your favorite celebrity sitting next to you, and they'll look at the person next to them, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you," and they'll be elated. So you can produce, and I don't do these skits anymore, but I have sometimes I use a stage assistant, and her name was Tamara, and I would say, when you open your eyes, you will see Tamara walk across the stage. Her arm fell off. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Now her leg fell off, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh!" And when they're in that state, that's what they're perceiving. Or look, there's a walking head with no body. And they will actually see that or believe they see that in the moment. But then when I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, those images do not stay with them. It's just when they're in that heightened state of suggestibility. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, of course. Now, how do you how can you tell if someone is in that state of suggestibility?
Sure. Well, there's things that we do. I'll do little tests before I start a show, or even when I work with somebody one on one. If somebody wants to quit smoking, I'll do a couple little tests in imagination to see how receptive they are to this work, or if they're completely blocked in their body or in their imagination to even being open to what it is that I do. There's no way to look at somebody and tell. It's very easy to tell when I start working with them. Or if I'm doing, because I know we're pretty much focusing on entertainment hypnosis because this movie's about entertainment. So I'll do things like I'll pick up somebody's arm and I'll say, let me do all, let me just have your arm, let me do all the lifting. And if I feel they're stiff and rigid, I know they're not. But if I feel them all loose, and sometimes there's signs, their eyes go into REM, which is rapid eye movement, And
Mhm.
that tells me they've entered that state of imagination.
Hmm. Well, our
And
mind is a tricky thing, right?
yeah, and I've also known when people are faking it, because when it comes to entertainment, some people like to get attention and be the spotlight. And I'll say things like sleep, and I'll see them respond either too quickly or too late. And then I realize they're not actually with me right now, they're playing along. Because when I say, like, in the middle of a show, when I'll say something like sleep and I'll hold somebody, they drop instantly on that voice command.
Hmm.
So I feel it in their body and I can see it in them when I give certain suggestions, if they're playing along or if they're really in hypnosis.
Hmm. That's so interesting. And when did you first realize that you had this gift, or some people see it power, or what,
Yeah,
or knowledge, or a
it's a
combination?
it's a learned skill. Hypnotizing someone's very easy.
Hmm.
Knowing what to do with them when they're hypnotized, that's where education comes in, and that's where skill comes in and experience comes in. Because when somebody is, hypnosis really is just a heightened state of suggestibility. Some
Hmm.
people, when we meditate, they go into a really suggestible state. So if somebody is really calm and meditating, and if I give them a suggestion of, you're feeling hot or cold, they'll take that in. Now we take that a step further to where that same ability to feel something as being hot or cold, to remember that thing you told me you wanted to change, that limiting belief about yourself. Now it's time to bring that up and let that go forever. Well, that suggestion can stick as well. Or a suggestion like, you hate vaping. Vaping tastes disgusting. Anytime you see a vape, the only thing you can think about is, insert your disgusting thing that you want to impose upon that. And that
Hmm.
suggestion can stick within seconds for people. Or it's time to release that bad experience you went through and release that. And nothing like talk therapy can't come close to how quick we can release some real traumatic events from our past using hypnotherapy. So somewhere along the way, somebody figured out when people go into a meditative state that they're open to suggestions, and we can produce hypnotic phenomenon, or the ability to, your hand is numb and I can hold a flame under somebody's arm and they won't feel it. Now, their skin will burn, and when they wake up, they're not going to be very happy.
Yeah.
But in that state, so some things from that movie are real. In that state, you can produce those type of things.
Yeah.
But I think you asked me a different question, didn't you?
No, no, no. Well,
Yeah,
what I am interested in is that, I like to cover good things and good people, people who do good things,
yeah,
and you found a way to do really, really good things with this. So I'm
yeah.
absolutely curious to hear about that.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I actually went to hypnotherapy school. It was a college
Mm.
for hypnotherapy. I knew nothing about stage hypnosis at the time. I went to kind of just see how this whole thing works. I knew I wanted to do something more with my life than what I was doing. And at the time, actually, I was flying airplanes just for fun,
Mm.
as a private pilot. And I realized so many people are afraid to fly. So I thought, maybe I'll just go and add this to my thing. And then I realized a whole new world opened up. So a stage hypnotist came, gave a demonstration. It blew my mind. I thought, this is so fun. This is so cool, making people laugh. For me, it was more about, just for this next 90 minutes of this show, let's leave the world outside. And let's all have some fun and laugh at each other and experience fun things. Then I went to Vegas and I watched a couple stage shows and I was like, I'm in love with it. So I started doing that. And then I realized there's something much more I can do with this. What if I was to start doing therapy in the middle of a stage show? What if I were to start making people stop smoking or lose weight or overcome something? What if I could do that on the spot? And a lot of my instructors were like, well, that's not what you do. You're entertaining people. I'm like, no, I think I can help people this way. And that's what I started to do. And then it led to this whole string of events where I got a call from a YouTube star. I didn't know who she was at the time, to hypnotize her for her channel. And
Mm.
then another YouTube star called, and then another. Then the next thing I know, Like some of my videos have been to 20 million views that I've been on doing what I do. And it exploded into colleges calling me, then people calling me, then parents calling me saying, hey, my daughter was at one of your shows, but I have this anxiety. Can you help me? And then it started to kind of come full circle back to therapy. And so I kind of combined the two. And then I
Mhm.
realized I got so busy, I needed another way to share this gift. And then I created my HypnoVault, which is my online community of, I have over 200 video hypnotherapy sessions that I recorded, just like you were working with me one-on-one on specific topics. And then I started doing live group hypnotherapy sessions for my online community. And it just became just a beautiful way to share my gift and to kind of live my life. And that's all I do now.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's wonderful.
it's amazing. And I've truly touched so many people's lives in the work that I do. And they don't need to pay me for one-on-one sessions and have that expense. They can do it so inexpensively on my online community. And it's been amazing. And I get to talk to cool people like you about these things, which is really also pretty amazing. So
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Well, so okay, so for example, if I said I'm trying to think of something that I would want to get rid of. Let's just say getting mad in traffic, because
yeah,
I'm a peaceful person. I'm a happy person. I kind of just go with
yeah,
the flow with whatever. But for some reason, traffic really gets to me. Is that something that you can do?
100%. 100%. We would do something called one, we do a little releasing work to clear the frustration. And then we do something called an anchor. An anchor is just an association, a way to bring back a calm state of mind right when you're in that setting. So it's like, all right, I'm good. Yeah, we attach like a word or a color to a breath, and you do that, and it brings back all the things we did in the session. And
Yeah.
much like I do for like public speaking, people that are afraid to public speak, one, we do a little releasing work of that emotion that they feel so strong. But then we create a power trigger, like a word like confidence or love or strong. And they say that to themselves a couple times before they walk on stage. And that puts them right in that confident state. And then they go off and have a wonderful experience speaking.
Oh,
Same
that's
that
wonderful.
same way you would have driving. Do you have road rage? Or is that what
Well,
you say?
I wouldn't say it's like road rage, but it's just one of those things. It's something about like waiting in lines at airports, or like lines at whatever, just sort of some kind of like minor inconvenience. You could tell me I've got a week to live, and I'd be like, okay, well then I got a week to live, or the hotel caught on fire. Okay, well I guess we better go outside. But for
Yeah.
some reason, those minor things. Just that if there's something I could be like, oh, that would be amazing.
Yes.
Should
Yeah,
we
that's
try
definitely
it?
that's
Yeah.
definitely you want we can do it right now if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So
For, this makes for a great video.
I'll guide you through. Let me kind of tune you up to show you what I mean when I say I want to see how people's imaginations work. You're a writer or journalist, so you're a creative person. That means for you, you know how to access this state. Because if you
Mhm.
think about writing, like where does that come from, right? It yeah, it
Mhm.
comes from your mind, but it wasn't there a moment ago. So you opened yourself up to that creative process, which is a process of our subconscious mind. And the same is true for what we do here. So just sit with like your legs flat on the floor and put your hands
Yeah.
on your lap and just close your eyes for a second. We're not doing hypnosis yet. I just want to guide you through some imagination.
Okay.
So right now, imagine right in front of you, there is the largest, most yellow, bitter, sour lemon right in front of you. And just what would that be like if you were to bite into it and you felt that bitter juice start dripping down the back of your throat, right behind your cheeks where it starts to get really tight. Just allow that sensation. Now, you may love the taste of lemons, but nobody, absolutely nobody likes a sour, bitter lemon because they're so good. Now, you may even have the desire to swallow as you feel that lemon come in. And good, I can see your imagination is absolutely wonderful. Now, let that pass for a minute and let's do something else. I want you to focus on your eyelids just for a moment.
Mhm.
And I want you to just think this thought in your mind. The more I relax my eyes, the more I relax my eyes, this thought comes into your mind. The more I think about opening them, the more I will relax them. Think that thought again. The more I think about opening my eyes, the more I will relax them. And let that play in your mind a few more times. The more I think about opening them, the more I will relax them. And in just a moment, you'll find that you are still wide awake. However, there's nothing you can say, think, or do to open those eyes. Because every time you try to open them, you relax them 10 times more. And it doesn't bother you that you are no longer in control of your eyes because you are in control of the experience. And it feels kind of fun and funny that why am I wide awake, but I can no longer open my eyes? Something that was so easy and natural is now impossible. Now, what's really cool is you can let that relaxation spread. Yeah, just like that. You see, they're completely stuck.
Mhm.
Now, take that suggestion. Let your eyes become so relaxed that you let it spread from the top of your head all the way down through your jaw, over your mouth, through your neck, into your shoulders. What if you were to just let go of any and all tension and let yourself drift into this beautiful imagination that you have? Let yourself just let go of the body. Your body's going to support you. It's going to stay in the chair. Your neck is going to support your head perfectly. But you're going to release any and all tension. Just feel it spreading down your arms, into your forearms, into your fingertips. Just feel that relaxation spread. So good. Letting your body settle, maybe even your feet becoming so heavy, your feet settling down so comfortable that they just don't want to lift off the floor. And that spreads into your hands, into your arms. Your arms become so heavy that they just don't want to lift off of your body. It's almost as if they are made from a loose pile of rubber bands, just loose, limp, relaxed, and heavy. And as I count down from 5 to 1, you're still in control. I just want you to concentrate on each number. That's all that I want you to do. Think of the number 5, let it drift deeper down to 4. Let 4 drift deeper down to 3. And realize the deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you let yourself go. And you find that you can drift down deeper from 3 to 2. 2 goes all the way down to 1, deeper down to 0. That's it. You're in a beautiful space of imagination. And here's what's so amazing. Your subconscious mind has the power to create any change in your life immediately. And right now, I want you to think of a color, but a positive color. Nothing that's black, red, or brown, but any positive color that just comes to mind. And I want you to think of that color as if it was floating in front of you. And in a moment, we're going to start to breathe that color in. But before we do, I want you to focus on something else. I know that because you're human, because you have a conscious mind and you have an unconscious mind, you have a way to react to life sometimes. And sometimes you react to life with impatience. Now, this isn't a judgment against you. We're all human. We all have things we want to change and grow. For you, I know that this has been an irritant in your life, whether you're waiting in lines at the store, perhaps at the airport, maybe even stuck in traffic. Anytime you have to wait, you have felt a great impatience. And so, very slowly, what we're going to do is I want you to bring up a memory, maybe the most significant memory, to where if you were to release that emotional attachment, all the others would fall in line. And so, right now, think about the worst time that you felt so impatient, where you just wanted to crawl out of your skin and maybe scream at somebody. Who knows the reaction it was, but you were reacting. Notice where it is in your body. You don't have to say it. I just want you to think it, and I want you to feel where that is in your physical body. What sensations are attached to it? Is it heavy? Is it light? Where is it? And once you feel it in your body, I want you to imagine that emotion spinning very slowly counterclockwise. Literally feel it spinning in your body. And then, as it starts to spin, feel it coming out of you, floating right in front of you, spinning very slowly counterclockwise. And then speed it up faster and faster and even faster. Feel it as it starts to spin faster, it's floating away from you, further and further away, out into the distance, out into the horizon, all the frustration, the anger, the impatience, just spinning out of sight, out of your body. Those feelings cannot return. They will not return. As that drifts off far into the distance, you now breathe in that beautiful color right into the center of your heart. Breathe it in. Feel that color go into every inch of your body, bringing patience, bringing calm into you. That impatience is so far away into the distance, it cannot return. The only sensation you feel is this beautiful color, immersing your body. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Your breathing is calm. Your heart rate is calm. You feel incredible. It doesn't matter how long the line is. You are beautifully immersed in this color and feeling patient. If tomorrow, if a year from now, if a week from now, if an hour from now, you find yourself in traffic, having to get somewhere quick, the world seems like it's spinning, coming in on you, you breathe that color in, breathe it in now. Calm appears everywhere. The outside world no longer gets to affect you. The outcomes no longer get to affect you. If you end up being late, well, then you're late. Oh, well, you'll work it out. More importantly, you're so much happier in this present moment, in this beautiful color, feeling calm. The next time you may have to go to the bank or the market, there may be people in front of you, and that's perfectly fine. You find it much more interesting to feel that color in your lungs, in your heart, in your chest, in your body. Breathe it in now. Feel calm come over you. Anytime from this day forward, you're in a wakeful state. When you want to feel calm, you breathe in that color, and life just feels better. And perhaps you notice a smile starting to come over your face because you know now you are in control of you. The outside world can no longer affect you. You are in control. You don't give your power away to any person, to any circumstance, to any old feeling of impatience that you used to feel. You don't let anything from the outside world control you again. You control you. and you choose calm each and every time. Breathe in that color. Feel a smile come over you. It feels so good to be in control of you. And the more you think about waiting in a line, you don't know why. You smile 10 times bigger. You think of traffic, it's almost funny because you love being in control of you. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. You're going to open your eyes. You're going to feel amazing. And I wonder how many other creative ways you're going to use this color. Maybe you sit down to write something new and you breathe in your color, and this creative impulse, this creative streak just increases. You just flow. Maybe you need a new idea and you breathe in this color, and it's like an abundance of ideas just start flowing out of you, and you love it. Your creativity improves, your career improves, your confidence improves, all because now you are in control of you. And I wonder how many more amazing things are going to happen to you now that you have this superpower activated within you. Breathe in that color one more time, all the way in, feeling amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I do feel a whole lot calmer now, that's for sure. It was quite a quite a stressful day otherwise, but I do
What's your
feel
color?
better. Blue.
Blue. That's actually my
Just
color too.
yeah, some lighter kind of blue. Yeah.
So you just, the next time you have to be in a line or in traffic, you can do it eyes open or eyes closed. You just breathe in that color blue, and it's like, I'm
Yeah.
back.
Good.
You want to sit down and do some writing or work on your career. You need some creative inspiration. Breathe in your color blue. It puts you right back,
Hmm.
and then you'll see what happens. It's very
Oh,
cool.
that's
What do you
amazing.
think?
I don't know. Well, I know what you're doing is inspirational to people, and they start thinking, well, maybe I can help people too. And so, what advice would you give to someone who wants to follow in your footsteps and
Sure.
do what you do?
That's a great question. I'm actually very glad you asked it because the world has switched to online learning
Mhm.
over the last couple of years. And a lot of the online training I was very disappointed with. So I actually have, if anybody does like what I do, I created my own course called the Foundation Class to learn this skill of hypnotherapy and using it the way that I do. And it's been amazing to have that. So if they don't connect with me, there are many courses. You have to start with training. You know, there are some other great hypnotherapists out there. So find the one you connect with the most and take their training, much like we would with a musician. You know, growing up as a guitarist, I would learn the licks of my favorite guitarists. Same with singers, you know, like Steve Perry says, hey, Sam Cooke was my inspiration. And that's where he got his chops from. So for hypnotherapy, it's no different. You know, find somebody you connect with and take one of their training programs. If you connect with me, take my training and then dive right in. The one thing I know for sure, to be good at this, you can't do it in your mind. You have to practice with people. So once somebody starts a training course, I say immediately work with your friends, work with your family. Don't wait because you're not going to be a master until that's the only way to master is to work with people. And the worst thing that can happen is you relax somebody and say nice things to them. You
That's
know,
true.
unless you are taking too much on and working with people you aren't experienced enough to work with. So things like PTSD, childhood trauma, people that have been abused, you know, verbally, physically, sexually, you don't work with those people until you are seasoned to understand how to work with it. Or addictions. I also work in addiction centers
Mm.
and work with people that are literally days off of, you know, being on the streets, addicted to heroin or insert the drug. And it's pretty intense what they are under medical care at the facility. So I am coming in underneath a psychiatrist that is in charge of their healthcare. You know what I mean? So I have the ability to work with them because they're being watched. But you don't do that until you're seasoned, until you've done some work. But you don't have to wait. You can work with people and relax them. I mean, we're in Los Angeles. They add stress to the water out here. It's in
Yeah,
the
they sure
water
do.
table, right? Anxiety is added as a supplement to our water in LA. So you can work with people that are anxious, that are feeling stress, relaxation, and just start working with family and friends till you build up some confidence and grow. But you have to work with people to be good at this.
Yeah.
And
And for you personally, we like to ask yeah, about that success mindset because we're not always feeling it. And so, is there something you tell yourself that kind of keeps you on the right path? Do you have a mantra or something you say that kind of makes you it puts you in the right direction?
sure. Well, I actually do. Very much I do. When I was in high school, I took the Silva method, which was a course on
Mhm.
self-hypnosis. And there is an anchoring technique we call the three-finger technique. It's no different than what we do with a color. And when I have a new client, I actually put my three fingers together and I say, okay, I am going to give this person everything they need in our time together.
Mhm.
And then that's how I really show up and I'm present. And it took a while to trust. At first, like anything, when you're new, I had to have notes or I had to have some techniques like nearby so I knew what to do.
Mhm.
Now I can just hold space for somebody and listen, and I don't have to think about the next thing to say. I trust, I actually use my own anchor, and I go into a place of trust and I just listen. And I don't worry about, I better say something brilliant or I better know. It just comes out because I've learned to trust it.
Mhm.
And that's a beautiful space to get to. But I got there a lot quicker using my own anchor. So trusting that, trusting your life experience. One of the things that it was a really good study. It was done years ago where what makes a great counselor? Is it the college they went to? Is it different if somebody went to an Ivy League school or they went to a local community college or they had no training at all but some certifications? What they found was what makes a great therapist is their desire, their level of caring for other people is what
Mhm.
makes a great therapist, not their level of education.
Mhm.
So, for this type of work, if you really care about others, that is the number one factor to make you successful. So, knowing that, you can trust your life experience because we all are. You're a therapist to your friends. Your
Yeah,
friends are a therapist to you, are they not?
there they are. Mhm.
But you have a lot of life experience. Even if you
Mhm.
haven't lived it, you've lived it through your friends and with your friends and with your family. At some point in our life, everyone has lost a loved one.
Mhm.
And when that happens, if you can use that experience with other people. And so your level of caring and to trust that is truly the best advice I believe I can give in this area. And then
Yeah.
at the same time, understanding that it's okay if you feel nervous and insecure at first. It's okay if you don't do it perfectly, because if you strive for that, you're never going to get there, you know?
Mhm. That's true. Well, you kind of touched on it before about how you got into it, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with my co-host Drew Pearson. He's one of our great Dallas Cowboys. Caught the Hail Mary, which we all know is a pop culture term. Yeah,
Oh, yes, yes, Drew Pearson, of course. I didn't put that together. Amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
And so what we like to ask people on the show is about their Hail Mary moment, which is that moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for
Mhm.
you. What do you suppose that was for you?
Yes. All right. Let me try to condense this as quick as I can. I do have that moment actually.
Mhm.
And it was for a long time, like I did the Silva method in high school, and I always had in the back of my mind, the subconscious mind meditation, kind of using the magic that we all have within us, but I denied it for a very long time.
Mhm.
I was a very successful sales manager for years, and I made a great living at it, but I was not satisfied, and I was not living a life that I knew there was more that I could do with my life. And things came to a head with my current career, my old career as a sales manager with my boss. He was one of these Tony Soprano kind of guys, right? And I made a good living, but I made him an even better living. But one day I started doing this work while I was working as a sales manager. Now, he didn't know the level of what was happening in my life with this career. His friends
Mhm.
were asking him, hey, does Glenn still work for you? He's like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't he be working for me? Well, we're seeing him on YouTube. We're seeing him here. We're seeing him here. He's running ads for meditation classes. What's going on? He's like, of course he's working for me. So he started to get angry and insecure till one day he blew up at me completely insane, ripped up checks in front of my face. And I'm
Mhm.
like, this isn't okay. I do not want to be in this environment anymore. So I made the decision that day that I'm never going back to that job again. And this was a $300,000 a year job, which that's not millionaire money, but it's nothing to shake a stick at, right?
Right, of course.
It's nothing to shake a stick at. And I had security, the company car, the company credit card. I had a lot of good things. But I'm like, I'm not selling my soul for this anymore. At the same time, I had my first show in Miami at a beautiful theater called Palapa, which was a Tahitian kind of dinner theater show. And so over a 1 week period, I quit my job. I I looked at, I was just building the Hypno Vault. And then I had this show at the Palapa Theater. And these tickets were like about $125 each. It's a dinner, and normally they have like Circus du Soleil kind of shows. So
Mhm.
my now full-time kind of assistant slash manager, she goes, hey, this was 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. So all this is still pretty recent.
Mhm.
When I flew to Miami, the place was sold out. It was just me and a
Mhm.
crowd of people, maybe 125 people in this theater. And I'm backstage. The owner of the theater's there, his wife is there, the management there. This is the first time they're letting something like, usually it's a big show. They're letting me do this for the first time on a big night. And I was backstage and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I screw this up, I quit my job. If I don't make this opportunity work, I guess I'm going to go watch college or something. I don't know. So I was literally terrified backstage, like shaking. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I used my own anchor. I came on stage. I started the show. Then in the middle of the show, I was like, either go big or go home.
Mhm.
So hypnotherapy can also do pain management. So in
Mhm.
the middle of the theater, I had maybe 12 people hypnotized. I was doing a fun show, an entertaining show. But in the middle, I said, let me show you guys what hypnotherapy can do. So does anybody here in chronic pain? And a lady raised her hand, and I walked over. I said, what's going on? She goes, my neck hurts every day. I said, have you been to a doctor? She goes, yes, I've been to chiropractors. I've been to doctors. They said there is nothing more they can do for me. I said, so if we take this pain away, nothing negative is going to happen to you. Because sometimes we need pain to say, hey, something's broken, right? Or something's wrong.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I said, can I take this pain away from you in front of everybody? She goes, can you? I said, stand up. And I put her in the middle of the theater in the chair. Now, everybody is like, what is he going to do? You could hear a pin drop in this theater. And I do this special technique to disassociate people from pain. It looks like
Mhm.
I'm a fake healer. Now, keep in mind, everybody responds differently, right? I've never had this technique not work for reducing pain. It doesn't always eliminate it, but it always reduces it. It takes about 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes to do it. It's pretty thing. So I'm doing this thing with her. And I said, in the moment when I snap my fingers, you're going to feel this pain go through your body like a shock. It's going to intensify, but then it's never going to come back again. And this is the moment when I know I got it or I didn't get it. And I did it. Her whole body shocked. And I felt this joy come over me because I knew I had it.
Mhm.
So then I'm like, all right, let me play this big. So I get down on my knees. I say, in a moment, you're going to open your eyes and you're going to realize that pain is gone forever. And
Mhm.
so she opens her eyes. She looks at me. She looks confused. She goes like this and she goes, the pain is gone. She puts her head in her hands, and she starts crying because for the
Wow.
first time she's out of pain. I stand up, I give her a big hug. She's crying in my arms. Everybody in the club is crying, including the owners of the theater, including the staff, the management.
Mm.
That was my Hail Mary moment. When I
Yeah.
knew I was never going back to my job again, I didn't have to eat crow. I could stick to my morals and leave that place. That was and it was a beautiful, life-changing moment for me and for her.
Mm. That's wonderful.
That it really was, and it's on tape, and it's really cool. It's very, very special. And actually, last 2 nights ago, I don't do a lot of stage hypnosis anymore. I do more seminars and self-help work, but every now and then I get a call. I got a call for a corporate retreat, and they wanted me to come do a stage show. And so
Mhm.
I said, I'll do it as long as I can do some change work too. They go, we would love that. So did a stage show. I did the same thing. I picked somebody out. At this point now, it's no longer like it was for me. I've already done the Hail Mary, so I know
Yeah.
what I'm doing. But I picked a guy out that had a frozen left shoulder, literally could not raise it.
Mm.
And this is cool because they all know each other. This is the company. So I put him in the chair in front of everybody, did the technique. When it was done, he stands up and he raises his shoulder. He's crying. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh, this is just be so I get that means so much when I can combine like entertaining people, doing fun, silly stuff, but then
Hmm.
doing real change work and showing what's possible. That's what I love. So that's definitely the first thing that came to mind when you said Hail Mary moment. That
Yeah.
Mary moment.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, and the thing is, when sometimes you wonder when when things like Late Night with the Devil comes out, and you go, oh, why is this happening? You know what? Like, why did they stir the pot again? But
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of like the thing about changing your mind to say, why instead, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening for me? Well,
Yeah.
we get a pitch on something like that. We get to talk to you about it, and then more people get to discover what it is that you do, which actually, I guess, turns into a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah. That's kind of how I made my career using entertainment hypnosis to make people wonder what could
Mhm.
really be done with hypnotherapy. So to me, though, that show, it's fanciful. It was definitely an interesting ending. And for me, I don't love the cult aspect of it being tied into
Yeah.
hypnotherapy. But however, our world, we are all influenced very much. There
Mhm.
is mass hypnosis that does go on from the media
Yes.
and from people that have agendas with other people. I think we've seen that across the world over on very large scales. So in some ways, it's not even though I don't love the cult aspect of it, there are many examples of people being mass hypnotized to do very bad things.
Yeah.
And even like things like the Jim Jones things, when he can influence a crowd to drink
Mhm.
poison and die. I mean, that is mass suggestibility. That is mind control, but that's not what hypnosis is.
No, no.
But
No, but when you're using it for good and for therapy, and to help people, that's amazing. That's good work, and that's the kind of stuff that we like
yeah.
to feature. So before we let you go, we have to turn everybody your way. So tell everybody about how they can find you and how they can work with you.
Oh, I appreciate that very much. So yes, glenrottman.com is my website, but it's much easier to remember the Hypno Vault.
Yes.
Thehypnovault.com, or my name, but it's kind of long, Glenn with two N's, then ROTTMANN.com. So just remember thehypnovault.com. And that's the easiest way to find me and be a part of my online community. And it has grown. The first time I did my first live group Zoom, I had 4 people on it.
Mm.
Now I've had 175 people on it. the next 200 people. And these are people that like take time out of their day to join me on a live group Zoom for
Mm.
to do a meditation. And hopefully we'll have 500 on before the summer hits. And it's beautiful to watch it grow. And not just the people that can fit the time zone. We have thousands in the platform, which is just amazing to how it's been. So I know
No,
I'm on the
that's
right path. When you share your gift, it's almost like in life when it's like it found me what I
mhm.
was kind of looking for. It really did. It found me. And there's a reason for it. So I love what I do. I love to
Uh,
share my passion on the Hypno Vault and what I get to do every day in my life. And thank you so much for letting me share this
yes,
and have this time with you and talk about the movie and have a little, we just did like a little mini experience. If we're doing it,
yes,
we go even deeper in, but you can feel already, I mean, that's already in you. That color is in you now, just from that
mhm.
example. It's there. So that will grow and expand as you use it more and more. So yeah,
That's
this
great.
was super fun. And yeah, I watched that movie last night with my 17-year-old daughter. We
Yes.
watched it last night and we got a kick out of it. We were like, what is happening on this? What is going on? It was it was really funny. And that spinning wheel
Yes.
actually work. If
Yeah.
if I put that in front of you and have you watch it and have you breathe, that puts you right into a trance. So that actually is a real thing.
Yeah. Well, you'll be happy to know that we had David Dastmalchian, the star of it, on with us, and he's a lovely, lovely person. So,
Great actor.
yes, great
I
actor.
mean, I was connected to it. And that is so cool. Now, Drew Pearson, was he there with Danny White when Danny White?
Yes. Roger Staubach was the one that threw the Hail Mary to him,
Yes,
and then Danny White was the next quarterback after Roger,
correct.
and that was who Drew he retired with after that.
I remember that because when I wrote back then you could write. I wrote to the Dallas Cowboys and
Yeah.
Danny White sent me a signed autographed 8x10 of
Oh,
him.
that's so cool. I love
I
that.
wish I was a kid. I was in middle school, so I wish I still would have had it. But
Yeah.
he was and will always be my favorite quarterback of all time. And
Uh,
yeah, so I could talk about him and them, and so yeah, so that is so cool because they did the Landry leap. They'd
yeah.
go set, they'd come up and then go down, and
Hmm.
but they don't do nobody does the Landry lift anymore. They call it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well, and
why.
now that yeah, and Danny's been on the show with us a couple times, and he's wonderful too. Really, really great guy. He'll be
Yeah,
happy.
he was my hero. I think he should go down as one of the best quarterbacks of all time because he was the punting quarterback too. You didn't
Yes.
know, is he going to punt the ball? Is he going to throw the ball? The defense never
Mhm.
knew what to do. He was my hero. And
Ah,
yeah, so
that's so
amazing.
cool. Well,
Yeah,
then next time I'm on with Drew and we have Danny on, we'll have to make sure that you come on as well. That'd be
I
great.
would love to come on because I remember so much. I remember he was playing the Rams and he scored 2 touchdowns within the last 2 minutes of the game.
Hmm.
And it was incredible. And only he could do it because he fooled him. He did that punting pass thing,
Yeah.
and then yeah. So Danny White is my absolute hero. I can bring back a lot of cool memories about him.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I'm definitely gonna
Yeah.
keep that in mind for when we have him on again.
Anytime, I would love to join that.
Oh,
And
that's
so
great.
this was so great. Thank you so much for giving me this voice to just share this. Every opportunity I have to share what I do, it just makes me so happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate your time and the great session, and look forward to talking to you again soon. And I'm joining the Hypno Vault. I need it.
Oh, I'd love to see you in there. I want to see you on our lives. They're so much fun.
Good.
People sharing because I do questions and answers
Mm.
before
Mhm.
and after the session. So what's really cool is people will kind of share what they're struggling with. And there's something special that happens, when you hear and you connect to others in that way. There's not enough places where people can really share and get
Yeah.
support. And that's what I get to do. So I'd love to see you on, my friend. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Sounds great. Can't wait to talk to you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Bye-bye.